what are some of our goals here?
Well, we all have different goals, but I would think yours are, once again, to understand suspension in the different settings and the different situations and conditions you would want each setting for.
Hey guys, here we are at Öhlins Suspension in Hendersonville, North Carolina. They're an amazing partner of ours. We're really excited to be here. If you guys like this type of content, please make sure you like and subscribe. Throw your comments in the comments section, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
So Brian, thank you so much for having us out here.
Welcome.
We're so excited to get a chance to see your facility, and this is just already beautiful in the entrance, so I can't imagine what we're going to see behind closed doors today.
Well, thank you. Let's go take a look. We've got some cool stuff in here, and
right.
follow me, and we'll
Perfect.
give you a nice introduction.
So what do you call this space?
So this is our training room, and
Okay.
usually it's set up. We have these tables out, and we invite service shops, race teams to come in, spend several days with us, learning how to service and retune our suspension
Oh, that's
system.
really smart. It's such a awesome product. You guys are making sure the dealers service your guys' product properly, right?
Yeah.
That's an amazing investment too. And honestly, the most exciting thing about our initial conversation was, there's some really nice suspension product options for rally, but the service that you guys are going to provide is what I'm super excited about.
Next room here is where we get into service, retuning. You're going to see everything from a LMP prototype race car shocks coming in here, Lamborghini Super Trofeo shocks being serviced and prepped for races, and you're going to see downhill mountain bike forks. So it kind of runs the gamut on what you see here. It's always cool to walk by and see what we're prepping. Yeah. We are a Ferrari technical partner, so those Formula One vehicles, we work hand in hand with them developing dampers. Well, you first look at it, you think it's a little shock for like a little FSAE Formula student car.
Yeah.
But it kind of is. It's just a really very high-end version of that.
What's that on the wall?
Yeah, what is this? So this is a very new product and market that we are pursuing. This is the off-road and side-by-side market.
Okay.
And this is again, prototype shock. It's a big boy. And it has three-way adjustability. I mean, look at the size of just the clicker knob there. And the knob does turn to 11. So if you're a Spinal Tap fan, okay, good.
So when he goes off the road, he probably could use something like that.
Yeah, you need a little more travel when
When he's down in the ditch.
Yeah. So we're the exclusive supplier for NASCAR Cup Series. Every car runs our TTR. Everyone is assembled in this space. Bluetooth torque wrenches. Every shock absorber is serialized. Yeah, so Öhlins, we really started here in the mid-90s to focus on the NASCAR market. That's just a couple of hours away in Charlotte, as well as the Indy teams that are up in Indianapolis. So we're not exactly in between the two, 50-50, but I think from the story I've been told, they stopped for the night here, coming from Indy down to Charlotte to check out the area, and they loved it so much. They said, well, let's put our headquarters there. So, so I think that's the story. A lot of teams, a lot of Indy teams, a lot of OE business, a lot of R&D that we do for our products are done right here in this other room in our shaker rig area.
This is where the magic happens. Nice. You guys have some high quality equipment in here, I see.
Nice. Oh, look at a hammered rally car.
This is a 7-post shake rig. Today we're going to be running in a 4-post configuration, which essentially just means that we'll be running with these 4 hydraulic actuators with pans attached underneath each wheel that essentially simulates like a road profile.
Yeah.
So we can have different inputs go into the vehicle, and then we have our sensors that we attach at the uprights and then on the chassis itself.
Okay, and that's what you're working on right now?
Yep, that's what I'm working on attaching and measuring now.
Okay.
We can apply an input and then see what the output looks like on the sprung mass and the unsprung mass. So all the data goes back there. We run it through a script, and it kind of spits out some data that's a bit more digestible. Okay. Ideally, it gets to the point where we can teach you guys how to read the data we provide in order to give you guys like a roadmap. So when you're done here, you'll have essentially like a cheat sheet. If you need more front grip, you do this. If you need more rear grip, you do this. If it's pouring outside, So we'll give you kind of like a little bit of a lesson on how to interpret it, and be able to apply that trackside. The whole point is for you guys to go faster, and that's the reason you're here, right? And it's not for our pride or anything like that. We know what we're doing. We've done this 100 times, and it's more so just to make sure that your time here is efficient and also constructive. At the end of the day, we want to hand back a car that's significantly faster than when it came in. And that's the goal.
We'll get the cameras out of your face so you can get to work.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
All right, Melvin, I screwed up. I couldn't figure out, from my perspective, loosening and tightening, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you taught me a technique, and I want to get that on camera here so that we can try to teach as many people what you taught me.
Normally, if you're tightening, your adjuster is moving into the damper, right? And so you always put your thumb in the direction that whatever you're adjusting is moving. And so you want that adjuster to go up into the damper to close off that rebound orifice and increase damping force, right?
Okay.
So we have the direction we want to go. And then what you do is you just, you have that, and then you kind of close your fist, and then the direction that your fingers are rotating or kind of facing is the direction you're going to turn your adjuster. Yeah, your knob. And so essentially, if we take that same thing and apply it to the back, your adjuster's up here. And so if you want to increase the force, we want to tighten that, right? So we want to go that way into the damper. And so all you do is just kind of rotate your hand. You're turning clockwise, and then it doesn't matter if you're floating around in 0 G's in space and you and the car are spinning in free fall, you always can kind of recapture your reference plane.
As long as
and
right hand.
Yep, as long as you use your right hand and you know which direction you want to go. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude. Anytime. Yeah.
I'm Christopher Lowe. I'm engineering manager here at Ohlins USA.
You have an amazing breadth of knowledge about suspension. I would love you to dumb it down for us as much as you can. Tell me what is high speed, low speed, rebound, as much as you can simply put that.
Yeah, so in your car you have 3 adjusters, as you mentioned. So rebound is adjusting how much force is developed from the suspension moving out, extending. Dropping, yeah. So when you close the rebound adjuster, you slow down how quick the wheel comes out. If you go over a jump, for example, it will set how quickly the wheel drops out.
Okay.
Or you go over a crest, how quickly the body moves up. It will hold the suspension from drooping out or extending.
From what I understand too, so the rebound at full open would be then effectively the spring and the weight of that tire is the thing pulling it out of the air. Is that accurate to my understanding of like an open rebound, a fully open?
Yeah, so the spring is pushing the unsprung weight, which is the wheel and the tire and the suspension components, out, and they will basically pull the rest of the car down with them. You could say that, yes.
So the rebound with being in will control that descent.
Yeah, and it controls in general the big movements of the tire. Rebound adjuster is a very powerful adjuster that's being used a lot for the overall body control and the damping level of the overall setting. And then we use oftentimes the compression for fine tuning or specific things that you're after in handling.
Okay. So the compression is what the high speed and low speed settings are on my
suspension?
Yeah,
you have a high and low speed compression.
Okay.
And they're not high and low speed as far as vehicle speeds, a common misconception.
Okay.
It's the speed of which the suspension is moving.
Okay.
So low speed is more overall body control. For example, how quickly it rolls, how quickly it dives under braking, that kind of stuff.
Driver input.
The driver input area. Okay. And then a high speed is more impact, how harsh it would feel hitting a pothole, if you will,
or rock
something.
in the road,
yeah,
or
rock
something.
In the road. So one of the things we measure here at the Shakery specifically is contact patch load, which might be what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So basically, in the Shakery we measure the load, the vertical load between the tire and the pan in the case of the Shakery, or the ground in the case of real life, right? So we introduce a bunch of bumps to the car, and in an ideal scenario, the wheel follows the ground perfectly. In that instance, that load is constant, so it doesn't change. You hit a bump and the wheel just follows it up and goes down. That you can never achieve that in real life.
But that is the ultimate.
That's the ultimate. So
in
that's
theory.
perfect grip, if you mechanical grip. The opposite end of the spectrum is the wheel starts bouncing off the ground and it completely comes off the ground.
Yeah.
And then you have really bad grip.
You have zero grip.
Yeah.
Because you have
And in reality, you're somewhere in between these two, and you try to tune the car to go towards perfect grip, if you will.
Got it. Well, we appreciate you being here, and it's been such an education for us to see what you've been able to do here. And obviously, Melvin and the team, yeah, it's they look up to you a lot. So you're not in the room a lot, but they have a lot of good things to say.
Yeah.
So we appreciate all
Yeah,
that.
we're happy to have you. I'm looking forward to seeing you out there in the woods.
Yeah, so it'd be sitting in the car like this.
Okay.
So as your compression goes down, you're going through these upper shims.
Okay.
So it's taking this volume of oil and pushing it into this piston.
And so when you're making adjustments with the clickers, what is actually being adjusted?
On the rebound.
So on your rebound down here is a rod that goes through to a cup, and inside of these ports, there's a little cup that closes into an orifice and opens and allows oil to come in and out quicker. So the low speed side, it restricts the amount of oil coming out, considered a low speed adjuster. So as your shaft goes in, that oil has to go somewhere. So it goes through this hole, through the piston, through these shims, controlled by these shims, and into your reservoir with your floating piston. So as the shaft comes in, like putting your fist in a bucket of water, it goes through here and is restricted by this bleed that's in here, and then also these shims. So the bleed, the needle and seat, generally allows the oil to flow at low speed. You know, if it's just a needle, it's a small orifice.
Yeah.
And as it speeds up and fills that hole, it goes to shims, which goes to more of the high speed side of things. So where the shaft goes faster, you know, you get what's called a higher velocity, and that's what your high speed adjuster is for.
The tube of nitrogen keeps this.
Yes, the
down.
nitrogen's right here and holds pressure on this piston.
All right, Tim. So we got 2 full days here at Öhlins. My brain is full. I can't even, I guess, put in words. Obviously, I'm having a hard time figuring out how simple suspension is. Fluid management in a cylinder to control everything, and then all the adjustments and all the components inside, and all the little technology that these guys have put into their equipment. And all the goal is so that the wheels can remain on the ground as much as possible, so we can go as fast as possible.
And I think you're going to find that cars are supposed to handle a lot better than you're used to. I think you've been just
Driving
whatever it was set at, that's what you were driving, and that is the correct thing.
Right.
You know, and now I think you've just stepped up the next level.
So I guess the best way for me to summarize what I've learned: rebound is the tire falling away from the car. Compression is the tire coming back into the car. Your settings on your suspension is controlling high speed, which is the quick hits. Low speed is your driver input. So the actual body roll and things that we want to induce to get that traction on the front of the car or keep more of that weight on the rear. Those are the settings that we're playing with, and now we get to go to 100 Acre Wood and give it a shot in real world.
I'm so proud of him. He's
All right,
doing
guys.
great.
Thank you so much for following along. If you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, add the comments in the comment section. It really helps us out, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon.